towards pleasure and away from pain. Everything that we do in our life is motivated by moving towards pleasure or away from pain. Okay, so it's kind of like, imagine you've got a 2-year-old boy and he's crawling around on the floor, and he walks into the kitchen. He's never experienced heat. He crawls up and stands up, put his hands on the stove. Now it's going to burn, right? So he moves his hand away. But how far away does he move his hand? Only far enough away so it doesn't burn anymore. Now, first time he's done it, so he wants to make sure, and we're all guilty of this, he goes and touches the hot plate again, and again it burns. This time again, he only moves it away far enough so it doesn't happen again. Then what he'll do is he'll turn around and he'll crawl away and move towards where he wants to be, towards his mum or his dad, because he burnt himself. Now, you can probably understand the power of this metaphor and using it in their everyday life. Has there ever been a time when you've had yo-yo results with your weight loss, or inconsistent results, and you're getting back and forth? I guarantee it's because you've been focused on away motivation. Now, this is the biggest thing about weight loss. The problem is that the word weight loss, is that away motivated or towards motivated? It's away motivated because we're focused on moving away from our current weight. So if you want to be towards motivated, then we need to focus on our ideal weight, or what our specific sensory data-based goal is, that outcome is. And that's really important. Now, the thing is that towards motivated, if we want to move towards, if we want to achieve a goal, we need to be focused on it. Now, if we're not, if we're moving away from what we don't want and we're focused on that, we know that what we focus on expands, and we're going to get more of that. You know, you're focusing on your debts, you're going to get more debts. You focus on being overweight, you're going to get more overweight because of your self-talk. We know that through energy emitted and also through the physiological congruity, because the brain can't lie to itself, that the actions aren't going to be in alignment. Okay, so it's really important that the key to motivating to taking the first step is this. We know that only when the pain of an obese or overweight person becomes greater, their lifestyle becomes greater than the pain of the journey they must embark upon to make the changes, only when the pain becomes greater of their lifestyle will they then make the action, will they then take the action that they need. It's the same with anything that we do. The problem is because the away motivator was the fuel in the fire, that was the first step, that's what motivated to take the first step. We go, okay, well, away motivation works, so we use it for the second, third, fourth, and fifth step. But the problem is that you're moving away or focusing on what you don't want. The most powerful motivator is pain. Nothing will be more motivating than pain. What disturbs you? What do you hate most about your body? Get photos, get disturbed, because that's what's going to give you a strong enough why, and it's going to motivate you to take the action that you need to create the momentum that you need. It's kind of like a strongman competition, right? When you first start, it's hard. It is hard. It feels hard because you've got to do all this work. You know, in strongman competition, he's got a harness on. He's got to pull all this truck, right? The truck's stationary. He's got to exert all his energy. Barely gets a foot forward. The truck just begins to get a little bit of momentum and move. And then he starts building up and building up. It gets easier and easier. He relaxes. He can pretty much stop, and the truck keeps rolling over the finish line. It's the same with weight loss. If you keep going, you keep the consistency, you will build that momentum, and you will move forward. But once you take that first step, use pain. Get disturbed. Use the pain. What do you hate about it? Get the worst possible photo you can, okay? And use that as a motivator. But once you've taken that first step, you need to focus on moving towards. Otherwise, you will get yo-yo results. I know a guy personally. He has a weight thermostat. His weight thermostat is 100 kilos. He doesn't let himself get over 100 kilos. So whenever he gets 100 kilos, he goes, oh, back to the gym, and he'll go to the gym, and he'll eat healthy, and then he'll drop down to, 90, 91 or something like that. Then again, he'll relax. Next thing you know, he's back to 100, and it's a vicious cycle. He just goes back and forth. I'm like, why don't you just maintain? Yeah, if he wants to be, he doesn't like being 100, then stay under it. It's the same thing. So get disturbed first, then move towards. Make it easy as possible for yourself. Niggle. Don't try to quit smoking, quit drinking, eat healthy every meal, and go to the gym 6 times a week if you haven't been doing any of that. It's not going to work. Do one thing. Focus on one thing at a time. If the first thing is your psychology, then great. Second thing is your nutrition, then great. Third thing is your exercise, then great. And I want to talk here about broadening your horizons. Anyone that I work with here on a one-on-one level knows that I always look at the deeper meaning, the deeper level. You don't want to lose weight because of the weight loss. You want it because of what it means for you. We don't want a business or to create financial abundance in our life because we want pieces of paper. We want to create a dream lifestyle. My true passion, and this is what my passion is helping people realize what their dreams are, bridging the gap between reality and their dreams, and getting the psychology in alignment with and getting the strategies in place to make that happen. 2% of people on this world, there's 2 types of people in this world. You know what they are? The first type of person is a person lying on a deathbed. I know it's morbid, but we're all going to be dead. One day we're all going to die. The first person is a person lying on a deathbed, in tears with their family and their loved ones, crying. And the reason why they're so sad is because they procrastinated. They didn't take action. They didn't take risks. They didn't make mistakes. They didn't do all the things that they wanted to. They didn't achieve their hopes and their dreams. They got stuck in everyday life. They got stuck in the Groundhog Day, the Groundhog Week, the Groundhog Year, living each year the same as the previous life. They didn't have a bucket list. They didn't focus on their why. They didn't learn. They didn't master their own minds. And they knew that they had all these regrets and they weren't willing to go because they didn't want to die because they had all these things that they hadn't done yet. The second person is a person lying on a deathbed with a big smile on their face. And this is only about 2% of people. Billions of people are going to die the first person with so many regrets. Not spending time with loved ones and so forth. The second person is lying on a deathbed, big smile on the face. Grandchild looks up and says, "Why are you smiling?" Looks down at the crying grandchild and says, "You know what? The reason why I'm smiling is because I feel so fulfilled, so happy. I lived an amazing life. I loved, I learned, I left a legacy for you guys, and I'm passing the torch to you guys. I achieved all my hopes and dreams. I had the discipline to do that. I took the action that was necessary, and I'm ready to pass." And now my question to you is, which one of those two people will you be? Will you be the first person or will you be the second person? So broaden your horizons and think about all areas of your life. If you want to be successful in any area, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And law 7 is the law of positioning. And the law of positioning states that accountability displaces resistance and positioning influences outcomes. Okay? So I'm an extremely disciplined kind of guy. If I come home at the end of the day and I'm focused on my training and my nutrition, which when I'm not on holiday I am at the moment, if I come home and I'm starving and I rush to the fridge door and I open up the fridge door and staring back at these an open packet of Maltesers and I look over my shoulder and nobody's around, I'm going to reach in, I'm going to grab one of those babies, and I'm going to eat that delicious chocolatey ball of goodness, right? And then I'm going to do what most people do. I'm going to eat the freaking whole packet because they're freaking amazing. Now, obviously, the first things first, you don't have the Maltesers in the house in the first place. And second of all, I want to talk about the 3 elements, the 3 types of positioning. I was talking to a nutritionist just recently about what we're having an open discussion about what is the number one, what is the biggest reason why people don't achieve their nutrition goals. And we talked about preparation and time. And the first type of positioning is time. If you really want to eat well, then you need to position yourself in time in a way where you prepare your food. Fitness professionals that do it all. We see photos all the time of people on Sunday preparing all their meals for the week and all that kind of stuff. If you like your fresh food, then that's fine. At night, you can cook your meat for the next day. Maybe you can have fish at dinner, and then you might have your darker meats during the day. Because obviously we know that, if you don't like something reheated, then don't reheat it. If you don't like something, don't make yourself eat it. I am a big fan of having veggies for lunch during the day and salads in the evening. I believe it's a lot lighter. Where possible, keep your foods raw and keep the nutritional value. Okay. So spend the time to prepare your food. Okay. If you procrastinate, fire your yes anchor. It's all right. I'm not going to go shopping. You need to get your shopping done. Get your fresh food. Okay. Sunday night, prepare all your food. Boil some eggs. Have some on-the-run stuff. Have some strawberries. Have some almonds. So if you don't have time to prepare, you've got the healthy food there. And the biggest thing is people will skip meals. They'll skip their breakfast or their lunch or won't eat enough during the day.